Hello, boys and girls. Today we will discuss networks at grade 11 level. The content that we will be covering, one is overview of physical aspects of a network, and the other one is overview of network innovation. A computer network refers to a group of two or more computing devices, also called nodes, that are connected by a communication medium, allowing the computers to communicate electronically. So when two or more computing devices are connected to allow communication, that is what we refer to as a network. And networks also allow computers to share files. The connection can either be over a cable media, such as wires, or wireless media, such as your radio waves. Now, your cable media will be like your UTP. We'll discuss this further on, and fiber optic. Now, the types of network, one is Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi refers to wireless LANs connecting computers and devices using radio signals. Now, your wireless LANs use wireless access points. Like in school, we have a wireless access point. So we have a local area network that uses radio signals. And this is generally over a short range, like 20 meters. Your WiMAX, worldwide interoperability for microwave access, is a technology standard for long-range wireless networking. It's for both mobile and fixed connections, but WiMAX gives you more security, it's a larger range than your Wi-Fi. The speed gets slower as the distance of the transmitter gets longer. WiMAX is flexible and low in cost. It can be installed quicker than other internet technologies because it uses shorter towers and less cabling. So instead of other internet technologies, we can use WiMAX, but WiMAX will give you a wider range than your Wi-Fi. Your 4G or LTE, which is long-term evolution, it is a wireless broadband technology designed to support roaming internet access by smartphones and other handheld devices. Now, most of you in your smartphones will have 4G and or LTE. So 4G refers to your LTE. Broadband is allowing you fast wireless access to data. Your 5G, G represents generation, is the fifth generation of mobile networking technology. The 5G is not a replacement for 4G, but it is faster. It has improved speed over your 4G. Your data transmission is supported by various pieces of hardware. So you have router and switch that aids in transmission of data. You have different media like your cables or wireless. You have different devices like your computer, laptop, smartphones. And there is also different layouts in which data is transmitted. This is referred to as your topology. Now under media, under wired networks, that's your physical media to transfer data. One is through your UTP, this is your UTP cables, and this is your fiber optic cables. And your fiber optic cables uses glass strands, as you can see, and your UTP is your copper wire that allows you as your physical connection. Now, your UTP is more flexible, and this is less flexible being glass strands. It may break easily. So this is thinner wires and more flexible to use, especially in a small cramped environment. Wireless network consists of transmitters and receivers. That's your access point. It can transmit data and can receive data. Nodes, that's your computers and other devices, connect wirelessly to these transmitters and receivers. Your home area network are often wireless local area networks. At home, you have a router and you have the antennas for your router that allows your wireless transmission. So you can connect to your smartphone and your laptop. The media needed to support these networks are your radio waves, and then you have infrared. You can also have infrared signals that can be used for wireless transmission. But the one that's used most of the time is infrared, is your radio waves. Now, when you think of wireless transmission, think about infrared as in some of your remote controls for your TV, television, your air conditioners, they use infrared. Now, in terms of topology, your networks have different layouts. So topology refers to the way that the devices on a network are arranged and how they communicate with each other. The physical topology is the physical structure of the network in which workstations are connected using cables. So it's how the computers or workstations are connected using cables. And examples of topology is your ring, bus, star. Now in school, we have the star topology because each computer is connected to a switch. Now this is what we call a star topology. If this is your switch or a hub in this case, each computer is connected individually to your hub or switch. So in a star network, the devices are connected to a central node called a switch or a hub, and nodes communicate across the network by passing data through the hub. So the computers pass data here and the data is transferred to the correct device. Advantages of a star is easy to add a new device. You simply connect using the cable, and it's easy to remove a device which does not disrupt the network. And if any device stops working, then the other devices can continue because they are connected individually. So therefore, it is called a star topology, individual connection of each device to a central node or to the hub in this case. Disadvantage is if the central switch, the switch or hub fails, then the network becomes unusable. There's no communication in the network if the central switch fails. Now, your physical limitations when it comes to networking is your access to the network and the bandwidth. Bandwidth refers to the amount of data that can be sent over a network in a specific amount of time. For example, an internet connection with a high bandwidth, like 100 megabits per second, will download a file faster than a low bandwidth of, for example, 512 kilobits per second. Now, please note, when it's a small b, it's referred to as a bit. If it's a capital letter B, it's a byte. So that is a kilobyte. Capital letter B, that's a byte. Small b, bit, kilobit. And generally, speed is measured in bits per second. This is megabits per second. This is kilobits per second. So small b refers to a bit and a capital letter B, a byte. A user's account can have limitations restricting the user access to a network. Like you have user accounts in for example, your laptop, you have different users with limitations, administrative rights, and a local account. So you can have in a network users that have limitations, restricting access to certain files, folders in a network. Now you can also have, for example, your limitations include time, bandwidth, and storage access. So you can limit on time, users time, the bandwidth. Connection devices, network interface card, your NIC. This is used on most desktop computers. They have a built-in Ethernet card. There's it here. And your cable fits in. There's a slot for your cable. Your cable fits into the port of the Ethernet card. Laptops, smartphones would most likely have a built-in wireless NIC. All right, so the portable devices generally have a wireless network interface controllers and both a wired. So you can connect, like a laptop, you can connect it to the cable in a network. Now the devices you have, one is a modem, which connects a computer or a network to the internet. So your modem will connect to the internet. Now a switch connects computers on the same wired internal network. Like in your room, computer room, we have a switch that connects computers on the same network. And it has ability to direct network traffic to the correct port. So there's an example of a switch, and these are all the devices these are the cables for each device connected by a switch. Now your router or bridge connects different types of networks. So in your local area network, you will use a switch. But if you're connecting two different networks, you will use a router or a bridge. That is why when you're connecting to the internet, we're using a router, because it connects your home network, for example, your home network, to the internet, which is a global network. So it's two different networks. A router or a bridge, they can also combine wide and wireless networks or connect a LAN network to a wide area network. So a wide area network, that could be your internet. So your local area network is the one at school, for example, that's connected to a wide area network using a router, because a router is able to convert signals from one network into a different network. Many routers may contain a modem to connect to a telephone line. So there's an example of a router. It has a built-in modem. It also has a built-in access point allowing wireless communication. A mesh is a type of network in which a device transmits its own data as well as serves as a relay for other devices and nodes. So device transmits its own data and allows communication with other nodes. Now mesh routers communicate with each other, sorry the spelling here, communicate with each other, allowing larger coverage, for example, at home. So you can have mesh routers at home to ensure there's larger coverage at home, because sometimes one router will not cover your entire home. You end up with dead spots, which means that there's no signal at certain areas at home. So we can use mesh routers. A virtual private network, VPN, is an encrypted connection over the internet from a device to a network. This allows connection over the internet from a device to a network. So connecting to a network through a virtual private network will make sure it's encrypted. We also have Voip, Voice over Internet Protocol. It's a technology that allows phone or video calls to be made over the internet. So you can make phone calls or video calls. There are two main types of VoIP calls. One is from VoIP to VoIP and the other VoIP to phone calls. So this is your phone calls, and this is working with the software. VoIP to VoIP calls are usually or can usually be made for free. To make these calls, both persons making the VoIP call and the person receiving the call must have an account with the same service, such as Skype, WhatsApp, FaceTime, or Discord. It can even include multiple people in a chat room or conference call. For example, the application Discord allows you to open a permanent chat room and voice chat with your friends. Now, voice to phone, these services usually cost money, but are often significantly cheaper than making a normal phone call. You're also able to make these phone calls directly from your computer, which can be convenient. The application Skype allows you to make VoIP to phone calls, but there are also many private VoIP to VoIP service providers like Vox Telecom and InterXL. Now, the different types of networks, you have internet, intranet, and extranet. Internet is a global network that allows computers from around the world to communicate and share information, such as videos or web pages. Now, your intranet is a locked private network, generally owned by a company. Each company can have their own intranet and is used to share information on the network. Intranets give employees of a business access to shared files and network resources like printers, applications, and folders. So you can share printers, that's your hardware, you can share software, you can share files and folders. That's your private network run by a company, your intranet. Then we have an extranet, which refers to any network that combines an intranet with an internet. Now, many companies build extranets so that employees can get the benefit of the company's intranet when they're not in the same physical space as a local network. So, for example, employees can use an extranet from home to access documents shared on the company's intranet. And a company's extranet is also available. Certain parts of the internet is available, for example, suppliers and customers to access. That is your company's extranet. The company's intranet, however, remember, is private to the company and only accessed by individuals of the company within the company. Now, your virtual private network, a computer connected to a VPN can access all private network resources shared on the company's network, including printers and file services over the internet. Now, if you look at the diagram, your virtual private network, if this is your computer and you need to access the office intranet or the office computer, that can be done using creating a virtual private network. So your data from any hackers or eavesdroppers while crossing the network is hidden. So virtual private network will hide to ensure that your data remains, or your access to data remains private. So there's no eavesdropping. VPNs were mostly used by companies to allow employees to connect to internal networks from anywhere in the country. So employees could work from home, another office, or while visiting a client. Virtual private network allows people to access the internet anonymously. So it can also be used by people to access the internet anonymously and securely, no matter what your geographical location is in relation to the server that you're using. So for example, if you log onto the American virtual private network server, internet companies would assume you are in the USA. So you can ensure that your location is secure. Location-based computing. Now, location-based computing refers to several different technologies that make use of geographical position to customize a user's experience. Simply put, it works with GPS technology. For example, you use Google Maps to find locations. You're able to use Uber, which is a software that allows you to hire transport. All that is based on location. It is location-based computing. Now, your components for location-based computing, one is positioning system like your GPS, which uses satellite to be able to obtain your position. Then you need communication network. So you need network for data transfer. You need a service like Uber or Maps and an application that allows you to access the server. You need data and content provider. Data is information to allow you to access your locations, for example, or have, for example, street addresses, information based on street addresses, mobile device, and you need a user. That's the components that will form a location-based computing system. This is one of many ways in which location-based computing is used to improve our lives. Other uses of location-based computing is weather applications that tell you what the weather is in your specific area using your location. You are given the weather for your area. There's food ordering applications to deliver foods to you, car sharing services like Uber to transport you. All these technologies use a combination of GPS and mobile internet connections to improve the service they offer to you. And this is all we've covered for networking at grade 11. And here's your application that needs to be completed.